full already. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everybody coming tonight at Burke County Council meeting Monday, November 24th, 2025. Do a roll call. Bear with me. Mr. Bryant? Here. Ms. Sweet?
Here.
Ms. Buck?
Here.
Ms. Rooks?
Here.
With us is Town Attorney Mr. Huddleston, Town Manager John Myers, and Ms. Barrett, our Treasurer. Minutes of council meeting November 10th, 2025.
Anybody have any questions? There are no questions. I'll make a motion to approve the council minutes for November 10th, 2025.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain? Claims, Rhonda, please.
You have 3 claim dockets in your packets. The one for August 31st, end of month, was $125,210.75. The one for the end of month, September 30th, was $143,916.44. And then the one for tonight is $720,825.02. All claims have been reviewed and signed.
Any questions this time?
I have no questions either. Motion to approve claims as presented. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the ordinance 2025-15 annexing real estate, second reading, Mr. Huddleston.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council, if you recall, we had a public hearing on the annexation last council meeting. There was no public comments, and we had the first reading of the ordinance, so the second reading is tonight, and we can pass if you so wish.
Any questions from the council?
No. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-15, real estate at 7995 South US 31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-16, amending chapter 74 regarding traffic in certain alleys, second reading, again, Mr. Huddleston.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you recall, we had first reading of this ordinance last council meeting. This involved restricting traffic in the alley. We had the citizen testify about the mail deliveries, trucks damaging certain structures in the alley. So this amends the traffic code and restricts truck traffic in that alley. And if passed, it would allow them to put up signs and have the police enforce them.
Any further questions?
I'm personally not in favor of walking that alley. I have been down there several times. I looked at the trailer, camper, whatever you want to call it, that's moved inside there. It is inside the property boundaries every time I've been by there.
Yeah, his trailer's in there. The concern is just how it's damaging the road. They're not closing it, it's just restricting it from semi-traffic.
I agree with you because I've driven down it several times too. And don't see the need to restrict it.
Yeah, car traffic is still going to be allowed. This is just deliveries of trucks.
You get called over there much, Chief?
Just by the complaint. Yeah, other than that,
How often do you get called over there?
I feel like we usually talk all the time a year. We talk to him about where his trailer's at.
I was gonna say, has anybody complained about that trailer being parked right there?
No, because it's on his property, but I mean, he's putting himself at a little bit of risk having that trailer there with steps out there. Other than that, I can't think of, we had a complaint where he said that the guardrail was damaged and this goes all the time. Parks there and Park couldn't even figure out whose structure that was. I believe that Harvest put it in courtesy way back when Coleman's and that restaurant. So it's just like I said, the width and the damage is going to the actual drive. I can tell you that during Fair Week, they figured out an alternative, not have any issues because they can't go down there, because obviously that's closed. So it's still doable for them. I don't know what that entails. I've reached out to the postal inspector and gotten back to me. I just don't know who's involved with the postal center. Say, hey, we got this problem. You know, we get their input. So
He's got a personal, or someone's got a personal trailer parked there in front of his house now, with like a,
yeah, we talked about that quite a bit. Telling me he needs to move it, take the trash off.
Of the 2 or 3 times you've been called, has there been action taken? Were the calls warranted? No.
You can't say it. That guardrail has been so damaged, I couldn't tell you that somebody hit it right now or 3 years from there. But
Yeah.
there's nothing that stood out, something fresh, like a piece of a truck. Now, the height of that would be a bumper on a truck, which they can make contracted, not leave anything behind it. I don't know if there's another way.
We don't know if it's the semi or it's just somebody else driving down the alley, do we?
No,
Because
Oh, it's
Dan's
a
is
semi.
like-
Semi-trailer.
It is a semi?
So he has
I know,
to,
that's the problem.
so if you know anything about semis, it's got 2 wheels in the middle of the actual tractor itself. One of those is driving wheels, the other one's just following. So he has to get a good little speed to get up that hump, which is loud, very loud. It's not that he's flying in a dangerous speed, but he has to get enough speed to get up there. So when that trailer hops, it sounds like a crash. I think that's just the way the mechanics of a tractor trailer.
I think the way this ordinance is written, it basically says that any truck, trailer, tractor, or tractor trailer. If it was a tractor and trailer specifically, it would be a little clearer, alluding to semi. So the way it currently reads, I don't think we want any semis on any of our alleys. Quite frankly, they're not designed for that. They don't have the road, Sean, you back there, they don't have the underlayment for a semi-traffic. That's why they're an
You
alley.
can see in this one, you can see where
Yeah.
the ruts are from that extra weight. I mean, the semi's 33,000 pounds without a trailer on it by itself.
Then we'd be up to around 80.
That I'm aware of, and that's just a thin underlayment of asphalt.
Yeah.
Just get,
And that is the town's alley. We are confident in that. So if maybe it's verbiage and we said, no semi, truck traffic or tractor and trailer, but it doesn't, it looks more like truck, any truck and trailer. Or pickup.
Or
I'm sorry.
station wagon.
Station wagon.
Well, it's longer than a conventional station wagon or pickup truck.
Yeah, the language I picked up was a similar restriction on an alley, another alley. I was just being consistent with the ordinance, but I can change, detail that however you wish.
we do want to keep that alley open because that is a primary for the apartment that's back there.
That's what
And
I-
the
It's
parking
not
for the
travel.
Well, I'm
library.
wondering
is
how
like-
they were gonna do that.
Yeah, I didn't,
Really
they
is
weren't
my
closing
concern
it,
too.
too, just keeping semis off of it.
I mean, he could, a semi, we may have to, yellow curves a little bit farther south on Walnut so he can make the swing. But they get in there every festival, but basically what they bring is straight trucks. So it's not a combination vehicle, and they pull up and then they're able to back right into their back. They don't even have a dock back there. They just offload it, roll it in the back there.
That would be in violation of the ordinance, the way it's written, a box truck.
Taller or longer than a conventional station wagon or pickup. So, it would seem if we could just adopt the policy to have tractor and trailer only
I'd be
restriction.
more apt to go that way than I would the way it is.
Council,
Yeah.
like, Jerry,
So I can amend it and then present it to you at the next meeting.
Yeah.
so I don't think it was ever a request to obstruct traffic completely. It was just to keep semis from coming in that alley. So, I think we would all agree that no alley needs that. Are we okay with us making those changes then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make a motion to do that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance 2025-18, Unified Development Ordinance and Zoning Map, second reading, Mr. Huddleston.
Thank you, Mr. President. Called the last meeting, we had a public hearing and a first reading of the ordinance 2025-18. It is ready for your consideration and approval if you wish.
Any questions from Mr. Huddleston, council?
You have a question? Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-18, the Unified Development Ordinance and Zoning Map.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance 2025 dash, I think I got that myself there. I'm sorry, ordinance 2025-19, adopting internal control policy regarding federal grants and principles. First reading only, Ms. Barrett.
Yeah, if you guys recall, back in August, you made a motion to allow Dustin to review and update our purchasing policies. At our last audit, the SBOA was asking for a policy on how we handle federal grants, and we didn't have one on hand. So he composed this. It looks like it meets what they are requiring. So this is just a policy we need to have in place to meet state board requirements.
It was in the report too. I have no other questions.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-19.
It's just first reading only.
Well, there we go.
So you
I make
can't
a
approve it
motion.
today. You have to waive the first reading if you want. Or you can just have it as first reading and then consider it the next.
Make a motion to approve the first reading,
You have to waive.
or waive the first reading of ordinance 2025-19.
Second.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025.
Hang on, hang on.
All in favor? I guess I'm eager
All in
tonight.
favor of waiving the first reading of ordinance 2025-19?
Aye.
Aye.
Now,
Now, yeah,
make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-19, adopting the internal control policy regarding federal grants and principles.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Amending resolution 2025-10, electing to join the 1977 Police Officers and Firefighters Pension and Disability Fund. Mr. Humphrey.
Thank you. Council, if you remember, you approved these last month. I sent them to the state 77 fund department. They wanted me to take out a certain section that quotes the statute that it governs. They didn't want it in there, even though the statute, that's what the statute says. So that's what the state is wanting. I took out the section as they suggested. It still references the statute, so it doesn't weaken the ordinance or the resolution. So this is just basically what the state wants, so we're amending it one more. And it would be the same for 2025-11.
Any questions for Mr. Huddleston?
No. Make a motion to approve amended resolution 2025-10.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the same with amended resolution 2025-11.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2026 ERC spending plan, Ms. Barrett.
Yes, the ERC 2026 spending plan in the amount of $370,509 was approved at the ERC meeting on November the 10th. The plan includes line items for capital expenditures. Statute requires that this plan be submitted annually to DLGF, to the council president, and to the council prior to December 1st. So this is just presenting it to you. You had a copy of it in your packet. They don't need to take any action, correct? It just has to be noted in the minutes that it was presented to the council prior to December 1st.
Thank you, Linda.
All right, Rhonda, Park and Rec basketball sponsorship donation.
Okay, the park received a total of $1,500 in basketball sponsorship donations from the following: American Legion, SAL, Spartan Renovation, GTR Enterprise, Tri Kappa Delta Sigma, and Fletcher Chrysler. So just need the okay to accept those sponsorship donations for basketball.
I and make a motion that we accept all of the sponsorship and donations of $1,500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, John, the Mr. Buning consultant agreement, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's that time of year again to renew agreements. Michael Buing, professional engineering. He does review for utility infrastructure improvements for residential and commercial properties. He's been an asset to the town and the planning department. I recommend that we approve the agreement and get a signature from the president.
Two separate motions, council. We've had Mr. Buning for quite a while, and then quite frankly, be a services.
I agree. I'll make a motion to approve the Michael Buning consulting agreement as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion for Council President Ryan Churchill to sign off on the Michael Buning consulting agreement as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Driftwood Utilities discussion. Jason, you back there? Do you mind coming up here to the podium again? So if you recall, it's probably been a month and a half now, Jason. I think you guys, Wayne came in. It was a kind of an afterthought, unfortunately, but it was brought up to be put back on the agenda. So to kind of continue that conversation, Mr. Newton, Wayne here will.
Thank you.
So what Dwayne is handing out is really about the last 9 years of our average daily flows. There is times that we have higher than this as far as our daily flows, event of rain, something of that nature. What we're asking Edinburgh to do is look at the possibility as us becoming a customer to a level that you all are comfortable with. We are not basically going to dissolve our relationship with Columbus. So we will have flows going south as well as flows coming north is what our intention is. Our CTA, our district, comes all the way up to Edinburgh on the west side of 31. And so as we grow from Hardee's north, as that commercial development grows, it makes more sense to already have this relationship established. So what we'd like to do is put together a plan or put together a team that sits down and evaluates this with the anticipation that we're not asking you to spend $5 million to upgrade your plant right now. That's not the intent. We'd like to kind of dip our toe into this, get this thing started. And as our needs grow, then we can sit down and evaluate what you all would like to do, or if you would like to do more. I think it really depends on maximizing your capacity that you want to maximize, or maybe not. I mean, maybe you want to get to 85% capacity, whatever that is. But our system is a little unique that we have 4 or 5 quadrants, 5 areas, let's call it. And so we can selectively choose what we push north and how much we push north. And so the plan would be we will cover all of our costs to get to 800. I believe that's 800. Is that right? So, so we'll cover that cost, whatever that may be. Now, selfishly, we would like to have some sort of a set rate to offset that cost, some sort of time, and this is all things we need to discuss. But as, it might cost us $2.5–3 million to put the infrastructure in to get to this area. And so what we would like to have is a plan to help offset that infrastructure cost. And so that may be a rate lock for 5 years, 7 years, whatever that may be. But then that way you have a plan you know you have income of an additional 400,000 gallons a day, whatever that case may be. And that will help you all build a plan that says, okay, maybe in 10 years, we want to add 1 million gallons a day capacity. But we're not asking that today. That's not the intent, so. Question? And just to point out, we have 3 of our board, we have a 5-member board. 2 of them couldn't make it last night, but Dwayne and Cindy, they're the daily managers for the Driftwood utility, so if you got any questions, the people are here to answer, so.
So in other words, we'd be taking part of your waste, telling Edinburgh from down there, and then Columbus would be taking part as well, right?
Correct. We can't ask you all to take, you know, this is our average daily flow currently. And I think that when we started this conversation, that was a discussion that you could take up to 100% of it, as long as it stays in that 300,000 to 400,000 gallons per day. But what happens when it goes above that is the question. And so we would have to come up with some good old boy system of making sure that you only get X, Y, Z gallons per day, and the rest would go to the city of Columbus. And there's areas of our territory, there's no way we can push north, just the way our design is. So this is our 100% of our average daily flow. What we're talking about is probably only at best being able to push 70% of this currently north. The other 30% will have to go to Columbus. There's no way around it. It would cost us a lot more than $3 million to get that flow north to get to you all. So, you know, we're figuring 70-80% of this. And so, and yes, we are growing, and yes, there are potential for another 200,000 gallons a day currently, but that's why we're trying to make these decisions now so that we can kind of direct where that flow goes, so that we know. You tell us our cap is 350 a day, then we're gonna work on that number.
Bob, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
Yeah, I think some discussion on this, would be vital as to the limits, because we don't want to, bite off more than we can. So we want to keep it within, you know, at most the 70% is what we're talking about.
Right.
I think it's a fabulous, opportunity for everyone, myself.
Why is that, sir?
Because it's a revenue source.
That's the only, I mean, that's
That's the
it.
biggest thing, because right now, we're looking at potential for rate increases. And anything that would offset that cost, help us to keep, our costs down, keep the taxpayers' costs down, I think is a step in the right direction. And that's how I see it.
You feel like your equipment that you have out there now can handle that?
Our equipment's, the youngest of our equipment is over 20 years old. Regardless if they come or not, there needs to be some modifications and some rebuilds. That doesn't mean that when they come on, that it's gonna, all of a sudden, we're gonna be more out. We're already there. We're already at a point where we need to make some drastic improvements, requested and rebuilding. So even with them coming on, that's gonna even help us, that's gonna help us offset some of that cost. So I've had a hard time seeing the negative side of the process. I don't know about, there is some things we need to figure out, like this rate lock and, you know, the terms under, what they, the best suits them and then helps us as well. So, I mean, there is some discussion that needs to be made, but like I said, I can't find fault in it.
So what we need to do, if this is something the council chooses to pursue for the town, is we could either form a committee or appoint of individuals to say, whoever that is would work with Jason and whoever he appoints. And then that's how we start, and then that plan can grow from there as to how, because we're not looking to make any money, put any money into our system than what we already do to survive. The money expenditures is gonna fall squarely on Driftwood, because they're the ones that have to come to us, we don't come to them. Don't take that in a bad way, but that's just the way it is. Right. So, we would see if one, we would entertain that, and then two, do we figure out how we're gonna do that? Work that relationship out, and then unfortunately, it was an illegal matter. But that being said, do we have an interest to even entertain this? Because if not, then this is where the conversation stops. It's not engineers, it's not legal, it's not any of that. It's does the town want to embark on a journey with trying to make money for the wastewater department to help offset some of the rate increase that we are going to have. There's no two ways about it. And it helps out that neighboring community that their growth does in turn help the town of Edinburgh. So I think there's the potential for more electrical and everything else is also available too if they get more growth. So we can in turn benefit from that. So we just need to make that decision that if this is something we want to try to push forward on. Nothing more than that right now.
So are they gonna bring it to 800? Can we pick it up at 800, or do we have to?
Yes. Yeah, we're not.
We can.
The responsibility of that getting to us is squarely on their shoulders.
So at 800, we're already equipped.
We're already there.
Our lift station at 800 is probably only working at 20% of what it could actually do. So there's plenty of capacity there to push this water to us.
You have any thoughts on it, John? Town manager?
I think we need to look at it. I mean, it can be beneficial to the town, beneficial to them too, as long as we can meet in the middle and come to a compromise.
Yeah, Taylorsville has a lot of fixed income families, so we do everything we can to keep our rates low, because we know it affects, even $10 a month affects somebody immensely when they're on fixed income, so it's a big deal to us, so. I've been on the board since 1999, somewhere in there, so, long time.
If collectively, I think if we would like to sit down and talk about this, then we appoint, I think, Bob and John.
I think you should be there. You have the knowledge of it also.
Okay.
Just a second.
All right, then if we are okay with John, Bob, and myself meeting with their representatives, then we'll do that. And then we'll come together and we'll present what we think would be advantageous for the town and for Driftwood. And if it works, and we'll move on to the next step. And if it doesn't, then we tried. We're all okay with that?
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Lawler, purchase of personal protective turnout gear.
Evening, council. In your packet, you should see, I got 4 quotes. I've been on track to every other year purchase 10 sets of protective gear for our guys to make sure we keep everything compliant within the 10-year time frame when they usually throw the gear out. So I'm going to actually trying to order this for the 2026 budget, but it's about a 60-day out to take delivery. So they can lock in the price now, which is a little bit exciting because last time I bought 2024, it was $27,300 for the 10 sets that I bought. So the low bidder this time, which actually might be a little bit better product, was $25,220. So I'm just asking tonight if we could Purchase.
Question.
I want to order it now and we'll pay for it in 26 when it comes in 60 days. So I did budget for it for 26. So just trying to get the price locked now and give it 60 days to manufacture it. So
Are
just
they
looking at
all
order.
exactly the same?
I'm sorry.
Are they all the same?
These are all the same, just different manufacturers. There's only a couple different people to make the materials, how you sew it, and some of the upgrades you can put into it. So these are all equivalent type gear. So my quest is to purchase from Hoosier Fire the 10 sets for $25,220.
Any questions?
I know.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the personal protective turnout gear for the fire department from the Hoosier Fire Equipment for $25,220.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Justin, the Striker Power Load Cot System.
All right, the next one, it's actually better news. Tonight I'm asking you guys to request, to accept a donation. We got the Striker Power Load Cot System donated to us from Johnson County Health Department, just under $60,000. So it pretty much is going to be a huge improvement in our ambulance service as far as literally taking the weight off us as far as the lifting and stuff on the patient. So can't say enough about the health department. They've stepped up every time they can on big ticket items like this. It's tough to come and ask, to buy. So it's actually, hopefully you guys agree to take the donation. It's already been ordered, should be delivered here coming up soon, and then we'll schedule to install. So just asking for you accept the Striker Power Load Cot System.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, chief. Yeah, switch chiefs. Tag out.
I'm gonna request to purchase the 2 replacement cars for next year's. So the grant has not opened for the JAG grant. That was because of the shutdown. So the federal money didn't come to the state. So the state obviously didn't open it. I've talked to the contact that I have at Criminal Justice, who still believes it's going to open up. This is a reimbursement grant regardless, so we would be out the money and then get reimbursed. So we still have time to hopefully win that grant. We did put that money into my budget. We talked last year about that I wanted to kind of change up to go to a Chevy product. We did a couple Fords last year. We want to try to do a couple Chevy pickups this year. Talk about why a pickup. It's just basically the storage capacity. A lot of agencies are going to them. I know Johnson County Sheriff's Department just ordered them. Bartholomew County Sheriff's Department just ordered them, especially for those of us that carry a lot of gear like Sean and I do, where it could be a SWAT call out, rapid response, investigations, whatever. It's got some pull-out drawers and things of that sort. So I went out, got 3 quotes on requesting, if approved, to purchase these 2 vehicles from Kelly Chevrolet, which is in Fort Wayne. We did get 3 quotes. They were really all pretty close in price. Kelly Chevy is a little bit cheaper, and they're also an agency that all the surrounding agencies are using. We've even got a letter, I think, from Fort Wayne about the award, and they've won the award for Fort Wayne's public safety as well. Any questions?
You had told us you were coming for it.
Just want to stay on top of the vehicles, and right now, the unfortunate vehicles that we have are costing us a lot in repairs, so a lot in repairs. But that's unfortunately the business in some manufacturers nowadays.
You're gonna order these when, Chief?
About 2 months.
10 minutes is all you said?
Probably this week. Try to get it ordered this week. The other reason for me asking for it now is, so Chevy only has a line that they do for public safety vehicles. Once they reach that, which I believe is 200 vehicles, they shut that line down and then they start making the public sector vehicles. So once all those orders are full, you can't go back later on if we decided in 2 months ago, I'd like to order a Chevy Silverado PPV police truck, you aren't gonna be able to do it. What you would then have to do is go find an agency or a dealer that has extras, and then pay that price. And we've done that on a couple of Durangos, and it costs us about 4,000 more per vehicle. So right now, we're actually surprised the price actually went down this year for between the Tahoes and the trucks. It went down a couple thousand more than what we expected. We expected it to be around 54,000.
Any questions?
I don't. I'll make a motion to approve to order two vehicles from the Kelly Chevrolet, Fort Wayne, Indiana for $50,252 per vehicle.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Okay, the elevated storage tank mixing system bid award, Mr. Sitka.
You're right. I have copies of the bid evaluations for council. I do apologize, I only printed off 7 copies. Someone might be short here. Got a copy for the hydrant, or for the tank mixers, and then also the hydrants and valves as well. We'll start with the tank mixers since that's first on the agenda. As you know, we opened bids for 2 projects on October 30th. These projects are to spend down leftover SRF contingency dollars from the water treatment plant project. The 2 projects we opened bids for was first, the tank mixers, and second, the hydrants and valve additions. Starting with the tank mixers, I said bids, we actually received quotes for these, formality. We received 2 quotes from quoters from Houston Electric and Electric Plus. Reviewing their quotes, both of them neglected to provide the correct certification for a thing. They provided an alternative copy of that. So that's something that we can easily request from either of the quoters, and both of them are on a level playing field for not providing that documentation. And then also reviewing their qualifications, both contractors are very well qualified to complete this work. I apologize, I handed off the last copy, so I don't have the dollar amounts in front of me. But Houston was the low bid. Thank you, Dustin. The bids received for the lump sum quote, Houston Electric was $73,277, and Electric Plus was $122,200. And then you can see the voluntary alternate system we collected a bid for. Houston provided a deduct of $12,371, and Electric Plus neglected to bid on that, which was just fine. That was a voluntary alternate, so it wasn't required. So based on those 2 bids received, at your discretion, we can prepare the notice of award to Houston Electric for the lump sum base quote and the voluntary alternate. Is there any questions?
Yeah, you said they didn't provide what?
So, yeah, I intentionally didn't give the details because there's so many. It's the contractor's evidence to do business in Indiana. Both of them, and that's the IDOA certification. Both contractors provided the NDOT certification. So a very similar form, just a different version of it. And looking at this on a normal, typical bid, it would be either or, but on a quote, it's that wrinkle where we just asked for the one, not both of them, which is why we're able to look at that and see it's not anything that would invalidate or cause concern with the bid. Quote, sorry, I keep saying, misspeaking there.
So that doesn't, Dustin, by not providing that information, that doesn't void anything on the bid.
Say that again.
By not providing that information that he said they didn't provide, doesn't void the bid,
I think he said that they did provide it just on a different form.
Just an alternative form, yes,
but not the one you requested, right?
that's correct.
That doesn't void anything?
His opinion doesn't.
Okay.
You have the right to say it's non-responsive if you want, but he's saying it had the right information, just the wrong form.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you need a motion then for, you know, I think Houston,
Happy to take a motion if council's ready to provide one.
the lowest bidder.
Our estimate was $125,000 for this work. So Houston was very aggressive at going after this project.
Have we worked with them before? It seems awful low.
I've worked with them on several other projects, and this is kind of a typical MO for them. When they want something, they go for it.
But the other, even though the electric cost was higher, they were missing the contractor's evidence of 42, right?
Yes, both contractors provided this alternative form rather than the one that was requested.
The quote for the elevated storage tank mixing system, make a motion to approve Houston Electric being the lowest bidder at $73,277.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Here, which one?
Does he have a copy?
I apologize.
Oh, I don't have the other.
The next project that we actually opened bids for, and it was actually bids this time, was for the hydrant and valves. We received 3 bids on that project, one from Infrastructure Systems Incorporated, one from Piercefield Construction Services, and one from SLB Pipe Solutions. Of the 3 bids received, ISI was the only bidder to submit a complete and responsive bid package. And they're qualified and capable to perform the work. The dollar amounts for the bids are listed on the bid evaluation. Happy to talk about getting into more details or any questions about this. At your discretion, I can prepare a notice of award to Infrastructure Systems.
So they provide everything we needed.
Yes, ma'am. A complete
Let's do
package.
Can you explain the math error?
Yeah, so we collected bids in 4 different parts. There was the base bid, which was like the work that we definitely wanted to do. And then because we weren't sure where the dollars would come in, we collected 3 other adders to the bid. So all in all, there were 4 parts: the base, adder, for simplicity, 1, 2, and 3. And then when we review those bids, we want to make sure that they add up to a total bid price. And there was a discrepancy in one of the bids, whereas items 1, 2, 3, and 4 didn't add up to the total. So we had to get clarification on that amount, which getting clarification on a bid amount could then subject the playing field to what might be considered an unfair advantage. It would be something similar to, like, let's think of a water main project. And with a water main project, that's bid instead of just $1 for the thing. You tell me you're going to get paid $100 per foot of pipe, and then $50 per hydrant, or whatever it is. There's a bunch of pieces into that. And this would be similar to if there was a number that you provided for that piece that you then got to make comment on after the fact, whereas the other bidders didn't necessarily have that same opportunity to provide that same clarification to the pieces of that bid. Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Our estimate for this one was $400,000, and Infrastructure Systems bid for the base bid plus all the alternates is $300,933.
Do we know anything about this company as far as what kind of work they could do for us?
We do. We checked their references, and I've also worked with them before, and they're well capable and qualified for this work. This is their bread and butter. They do horizontal water sewer mains, so they're well qualified to do not just the hydrants, but the hot taps and the other pieces part of this project.
They had everything in on time,
Yes, ma'am.
and everything was correct.
They submitted everything on time, and there was a second part to the bid where the two lowest bidders were required to submit additional follow-up paperwork within a certain period of time. And ISI provided that information.
For the hydrant valve replacement bid, I make a motion to go with Infrastructure Systems for the bid price of $300,933.
Second. I'm sorry, I'll have to take this vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain? Get that on the record.
We'll prepare notice of awards for each and keep these moving forward. Appreciate your time.
All right, moving on to other business. Mike, you have anything?
No.
Sherry?
I'd like to thank the fire department for helping with the community dinner on Saturday. We served 565 dinners at the high school. 50 of those were delivered to home shut-ins by the fire department, and that was the biggest, the most we've ever done. It was such a great thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good. I ate it at the ball game.
No, I know.
Yeah, just one last little pitch in here on the that redevelopment bond. We missed our window to do that, so we won't be doing that, so we'll, the tax rate will actually drop down to 2.1274. Yeah, we missed the window to get, there's not enough time left this year to get that going.
Chief Little?
It's winter. Mother Nature's, looks like they're gonna give us a little bit of some of that white stuff, so it's on by January 1st. That in our staff meeting today to get prepped for it. Other than that, thank you for the cars and support of the
Very thanks for the support and thank you.
Bob? Sean, you back here?
Nothing like.
Stan?
I just have a quick, something that's going to be done by council tonight, as you know, we've been working on the restart measure with that. We've had several meetings through this process, and then we've all together, solutions, obviously, we're going to work out on the field. Last week, we walked through the cemetery. My question to council tonight was, and I was going to just ask for advice and approval or disapproval on providing the services, the various services that day on Saturday, because of so much traffic. Tent set up, there wasn't set up now, it's the front entrance, block that entrance off, and use that fine pole, and every village in the door, the actual ceremony. And after that, for those that knew, there was a place to come and just throughout the cemetery, and then so we each veteran that they placed their wreath on, and I was just, we were in discussion on how that would look if I had to, just to have to try to look on that. And I didn't know if what we need to approve, if I need to approval, or if we think we can shut the cemetery down for that day of services and not provide them, or just for that day, or should we just go ahead? I've already sent letters out asking for help and assistance from funeral directors to try to work with families around that if possible. But I didn't know if you guys, what your thoughts and opinions that would be one way to dispose of for that day to various services. And, on Friday and back up, Monday, it's just the same thing. Conflicting area of traffic and so many people running through the cemetery and trying to do a various service and doing that.
And so you'd almost have to close it for that day.
That's my opinion, but on the other side, my heart says I think I have to postpone and rush something because of that, so I just want to ask. And the time has changed.
Initially, it was at 9 AM,
I was gonna say,
now it
when-
starts at 12.
Oh,
The ceremony starts at noon. They don't really know how long it's going to last. They can announce the tour, and then right after that, immediately, I have trucks staying in the streets, and a lot of people is going to be out running through the cemetery to be raised out and replaced in 3 hours.
I don't see how you would be able to do any services with
That
that.
was my opinion too, but like I said, there's some work to be done. I just wanted, that was some advice from you and things before I made a decision on that. I mean, we can discuss it when we get down there, if you like, and come up with that,
Yeah.
I wanted your opinion too.
My concern was because it changed from 9 AM
Right, I was
to
thinking maybe
noon.
the afternoon.
Right, they could have them, but now the time's changed. It'd be hard to get a service in there during that time.
I could make it happen. If you do.
You have a lot of volunteers, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Probably too many. But, we're going to look at that day. It's just a lot of moving parts. I have a lot of trucks. I have like 15 trucks, possibly, maybe 3, 50 kids from the high school, and I have one place to use. And like I said, each street is simple, just like down the road, so. And the game's called out. So all that we're trying to be done. Most funeral services in the cemetery, sometimes we will have them 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so that would fall out into that window. And we would do this part of the ceremony, and we're going to be set up there, like, and maybe come in and walk that road off. I would have to bring services in the building. And then that going on, at the same time, all that disperses, and all these people take that out to the cemetery. I would hate for the family to have to go through that. But I also understand sometimes
Meetings is closer.
and probably.
Wouldn't be good for the families either, to see people running around.
Yeah, that would just be nice.
So do we do a motion? Yeah.
Thank you. All I have is that. Thank you for your support. and help with that too. It's been a long road, but I hope it turns out as great as I think it's going to be.
I do too.
Thank you for the county's family, the service. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Bill?
Hopefully we can get this SR money out of our hands. I want to thank you. Good night. Have a good evening.
Julie?
I posted the building inspector position, so hopefully we get some good candidates, and we'll have them.
Thank you, Julie. Sarah Beth?
A couple of things. I do want to say with Reach Across America, I know that the Legion has reached out and it's going to be at least 25 soldiers from Cape Atterbury that are also going to be out alongside. So it'll be a great opportunity to collaborate with them some more. Starting with some good news, the building, the old Dark Bazaar office will be slated to be demoed on Monday, November 1st. So all the guys have helped out with that, and all the utilities are off, and so God's construction will be here on Monday to start that. And then the other thing is the insurance carriage saga continues, and I wanted to give an update, and then I think Daniel and I could probably tag team this a little bit, but I do want to preface with one of the things that we are working on, because it's been just a lot of back and forth and a lot of gray area with insurance for these events and the things that we're wanting to have in town. So we have reached out to our neighboring communities to ask for what they are doing in terms of insurance coverage and what they're requiring from their vendors. And so we're going to compile all of that, and then at the beginning of next year, present that and maybe a tiered system. So, what we're requiring from a carriage vendor may not be what we're requiring from a farmer's market vendor selling cupcakes or sourdough bread. So we're going to work on all of that. But the update I have is that I reached out to the carriage companies that we've been working with and just told them, I'm sorry, it looks like we're just not going to be able to make this work. And so I had one of them call and say, we had such a great time doing this last year. We really want to make this work. And they have new insurance. So myself and our insurance rep, Charlie, and their insurance rep, and Mary Patterson were on some emails going back and forth. And they have provided a waiver and their insurance, and so Charlie was, giving his feedback and things were getting updated. She did not, I was hoping to have it by the council meeting this evening, their updated info. I do not have that yet, and as of 4:30, she emailed, and she just hadn't had time to update the waiver. But Charlie was basically good with everything except for adding Tom Bedford to the waiver that anyone riding in a carriage would sign. And that's where we had ended up, but I just wanted council yay or nay on whether or not we can do this. I don't know if you want to add any other updates about other things on your end.
It's just been a process. There was a little confusion for a little while because the sample insurance certificate that our insurance provider provided us with, it was more of a tool to teach you how to read it than the actual numbers that were on it. We didn't realize that, so we were going off of the numbers that were on that. So our insurance is being, that they're wanting, and Charlie won't go so far as to tell us that we can accept less, but he is saying that there are communities do kind of look at stuff as more of a tiered approach, where they're not expecting the same type of coverage for every vendor. So, for example, fireworks happen, they have to give us like $10 million in insurance coverage. We don't expect that same thing out of carriages or bounce house vendors, those types of things. So, what we're working on, that she alluded to, is figuring out what's an appropriate tier system to where we have the coverage that we think is adequate for the different things that we do, rather than just having a wholesale, this coverage is for everything. But that'll be brought to you for your approval.
It also will save us from, now everything is a case-by-case basis. So, we could be looking at every event for next year and coming to council for, can we approve the bounce house? Can we approve this vendor? Can we approve that? And so this would at least be able to categorize and put bands and carriages and all of this into. So, we just have one policy that we're following. We don't have to, for every single event and program, to be asking for approval for insurance. But where we are right now with carriages is that we have what we have, and just wanting to know whether we should move forward or not. Just asking for your opinion tonight on that. And this is just one carriage company. The other one, after I sent an email, I haven't heard back yet. So, yeah, this is from City Ranch, who we actually worked first with at the bicentennial event, and then they were the carriages that were here last year for the holiday lights as well. And they are sole proprietors. They don't have employees, so there was a lot of going back and forth on it.
Is this one still where we were, like, what we were talking about the last meeting? Was it like
The insurance is requiring more because of prior litigation. Our
Right.
rates have went up, and they want to make sure that we are covered for any further litigation. So, so this City Ranch has everything now then?
Yes, she did say to me she was going to update the waiver to include, and this is the waiver that they have provided, and Charlie was good with the waiver except for adding Town of Edinburgh in the language as well, but we would have every passenger sign before they were to ride it. But the others, yeah, and even with the workers' comp, their insurance actually didn't even offer workers' comp, and so they were sole proprietors, but I think it was just they had to provide some other necessary documents to state that.
So the waiver, is that for the actual carriage riders to sign?
Yes,
And they want us listed on it?
yes, Charlie has requested that the town offer the listed on
So could we have Dustin look at that, Sarah Beth, and go over it with with you if need be and see if that's something that we could.
Do you have a time frame you have to?
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yesterday.
we're just a couple weeks away from the holiday lights, and we
Yeah.
haven't been advertising carriages or anything, so, you know, it obviously would be a lot, that the most calls and messages we're getting is asking about carriage rides, but, yeah, I mean, I think over the adjustment, if that could be something that we could get done this week, obviously, before the holidays, this week for our home.
I can move.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherman.
Yeah, thank you.
Daniel, do you have anything else to?
No. Holiday lights, got a lot of Christmas lights going on, we'll plug everything in, Wednesday, so Wednesday night, we'll see all the lights going down. It's being ground.
Open up for public comment. If there are any, please state your name and your address for the record.
That's it, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you all for adjourning.
Daniel,